Hello and welcome back to another video on The Rosey Life. I'm so glad that you are here again. So today we're going to talk about the knowing of who you are, the knowing of why your desire is yours. We're going to focus heavily on this topic today because it's something that you hear quite a bit amongst many teachers and including myself. And I want to talk about it. We're going to talk about it from many different perspectives. So grab your drink and buckle up, because not only are we going to talk about it from different analogies, stories that I've shared with my clients, but I'm going to share with you from my personal perspective of the knowing. And I already have like chills, and I don't know if it's excitement, it's a little bit of nervous, it's a little bit of everything, because I want to share with you my personal story about the knowing. So here we go. But first, I gotta grab my drink because I forgot to put it closer to me. Hold on a second. Yay, today we just have water. Not a big excitement. So the knowing is you. You are the knowing. So your awareness of being I am is the knowing. Your knowing is the proof. It's the evidence of you. Not just of things that you want to manifest, but of you. So if I didn't say this is going to be a longer video, I'm telling you now, it's probably going to be a little bit of a longer video. So for those of you who like quick fixes, go to TikTok. Okay, so the knowing is who you are. The knowing is I am. That is you. It's not a thought. It's not a feeling. It's not something that you conjure up and feel. And it's not something that you purposely have to think about. And that is what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to give you guys examples that you guys already have done and already have experienced. And you're going to be tempted to say, well, how does it apply to XYZ? That right there is the beginning of you separating yourself from the knowing. Because when we ask questions about how does it apply to eyelashes, how does it apply to a Coke, how does it apply to a boat, how does it apply to money, how does it apply to health, it's very tempting to do that because you want to think it's different, maybe more important, more emotional, all of these factors that you want to plug in as to why it's different in your condition or situation. You think it's different. So you're gonna want to say, but how does it apply to that or this thing? And I want to tell you right now to remind yourself and create the intention right now that it is no different, that what Rosie is sharing today, or Ro, for those of you who know Ro, what I'm sharing with you today is no different than any other thing that you might think that you want, okay? So, but a lot of people confuse knowing with information. Like if I learn more, if I study more, if I gather more information, if I read more books, if I understand everything from the beginning. For example, you could study how to bake a cake for years and years, but until you actually bake the cake, you're never going to know, because that first-hand experience is your own knowing. So reading is great. I've read over 150 books on metaphysics, quantum mechanics, the Bible, religions, Buddhism, Taoism. I've read over 150 books. And I thought that I needed to read and study and understand the why, the how, from head to toe, inside and out, before I could manifest. I didn't think that I could actually get what I wanted unless I studied this at nauseum. And I feel like I needed to know more. I needed to understand why. I needed to understand how. That if I did that, then I would miraculously have all the answers. That I would be in the position of never doubting myself whatsoever again. And that I would be able to be crystal clear on how to manifest things. And then I would be able to do it just easy peasy, unbothered. Well, that's not how it worked, because no amount of information, no amount of learning and reading and asking why and how does this work? Why am I source? Why does it work? Why? How? No amount of that is going to actually help you execute a decision. None of it. You might feel more prepared. You might feel more knowledgeable. You might know, like, I know how and why, and now I know. That's not even going to help you make a decision. You can understand, for example, if you stand in front of a barista at a coffee shop and you read the menu, you look at all the choices, and you stand there and you ask, well, why is this coffee shop open? Why can that person make a drink? How do they make the drink? Why? Where do these beans, coffee beans, come from? I want to know how they grow, what caused them to grow, how did they get here? What kind of tree or branch or bush or soil do they grow in? I want to know the evolution of dirt. I want to go as far back as I can to understand everything about the creation of dirt as I'm standing there in front of the barista, just so that I can get to the point where I make a decision and decide what I want to drink. There are people out there, lots of them, who will do this and say that you must know. And until you can explain where dirt comes from, that you don't know who you are and how reality creation works. That you must know these things. And if you don't know these things, you should not be teaching these things, and you should not be actually trying to manifest these things. And I'm saying that it's ridiculous to say that. That's their belief. Now, if somebody says that and they want it, it's not ridiculous for them. But it is not mandatory. That is their truth. That is their belief. So if I'm standing there in front of the barista and I'm studying the menu, Googling where dirt comes from and how we grow coffee beans, before I can give myself permission to actually decide what I want to drink, the whole time I'm standing there, the barista's staring at me going, any day, lady, are we making a decision or not? Are we going to have a drink? Because we close in 2 hours. Are you going to be able to do that by then? No matter how much you understand or learn where the paper cup's from, what tree was cut down to produce the cup that you're about to drink a beverage from, no matter how much you know, it still does not, will never actually be the cause of how or you making a decision. It can't make a decision for you. No amount of learning can make a decision for you. Why? Because you are the only one that can decide. Now, if you want to create rules for yourself and say you need to learn, you need to know why it works, you need to know how a machine works before you order a coffee, before you can make a decision about anything you want, go right ahead. I'm not telling you you can't. I'm just saying it's ridiculous to say that you have to do that. If that is your belief, that is your belief. Go right ahead. Have fun with that, because I did that for years. Why? Because I thought that is what we had to do. That is what I thought I had to do. So I read books. I got a shit ton of coaching. I worked with many coaches to find answers, to understand reality creation, to understand why this was all possible. And I heard everything from under the sun. I heard what was on the sun. I heard what was inside the sun. I was in it, okay? I was reading, I was studying, I was learning, I was working with coaches, and at the same time, I was a shrink. I was also helping people through my private practice, helping them with with a psychology because that's what I was doing before. I'm no longer a psychologist. I don't do any of that work anymore. I don't do therapy. I don't do mental health, none of that stuff. Okay. I don't do that anymore. I haven't done that for years. However, at the same time, I had that analytical mind of needing to know why behind everything. And I thought that was smart. I thought it was intelligent to understand why behind everything. I thought that was a very smart thing to do because after all, that's what I did for 10 years of school. I studied and I learned and I wanted to know the answers behind everything because I thought the more that you know, the more you know, the smarter you are, the more informed you are, the more that you can speak on things with authority. It made sense. It makes perfect sense. But guess what I found? The more you know doesn't do anything because it still doesn't prepare you to make a decision. It does not matter how much you read and study. That is not going to make you make a decision. It can't make you make a decision because no one can make the decision for you. No one can tell you how to make a decision for you. I can't tell you how to choose something. I can't stand behind you at the coffee shop and say, actually, you want this. This is how you're going to do it. You're going to walk up to the barista and you need to walk up to the barista and you need to tell them, this is what you want, but you have to say it this way. And as you're saying it, you're going to feel something in your gut or your eyelashes or the tips of your hair. As you say it, you're going to feel yourself go from the person that doesn't have the coffee to now I have the coffee. I cannot tell you what your experience is. I cannot tell you if you're going to feel something when you order it. I cannot tell you what your thought process is going to be because I'm not you. And no one can tell me who I am, and no one can tell me how to decide or choose anything. Which brings me back to the knowing, because I am the knowing. You are the knowing. When you allow someone to tell you what to do, what to think, now you made them your source. You made them the source of your decisions. You made them the source of your reality. You made them the authority of your reality creation. You made them the authority of your desires, not you. This is where we're going to go with further in this video now. Now, I want to talk about the knowing in this analogy that I've had several clients ask me to talk about this in a video. So I thought, you know what? This is the perfect video to do it with. And the knowing, it's so fun. I'm laughing because I have an inbox full of amazing success stories. Don't worry, I'm going to be making videos about them because they're so good. And they all involve simple decisions, and they just made the decision and know that's how it is, period. That's just how it is. But what led them to that, I had a long conversation with a client today. Our 1 hour session turned into a much longer because it just was so good. And another conversation that I had with someone is I gave her an analogy, and you've all heard it before, of keys. Okay, let's say that you walk in and you walk in from work or wherever, and you put all your stuff down and you do your nightly thing, whatever, and the next day you wake up and you realize that you're running late and you need your keys and you can't find them. You can't find them. You always put them in the same place, but this time they're not there. So what are the options here? So many of us can relate to this. We look for the keys everywhere. We start tearing the house up. Mind you, you've already thought to yourself, I always put them there. Why aren't they there? That's where it begins. I always put them there. Why aren't they there? Why aren't they in my purse? Why aren't they in that cabinet? Wherever you usually around to put them. So you start tearing up the house. You start doing shit you normally wouldn't do. You start looking everywhere. You throw up the pillows, you unmake your bed, and you'll do anything. You will do anything, go to any measure to find your damn keys because you're late and you need to get the hell out and get into your car or your transportation, or someone's waiting for you, and you're like pissed off at this point, not only because you just unmade the bed that you made, now your house is looking all messy because you just maybe picked up after yourself, or you just made it worse and you're just like, I'll just deal with this shit later. The couch cushions are coming up. You're looking in weird places. You're looking in the dog food. You're looking in the toilet. You're looking inside the freezer. You're looking in weird ass. You're doing, fuck it. What if I did put them in the freezer? Shit, I don't know. At this point, why don't, Mabel, did you eat them? I mean, you're checking the dog's belly. You will do anything and try anything to find your damn keys. Sound familiar? You'll do anything and try anything to make it happen, to find your damn keys. You'll keep looking and searching. But then you reach a point you're just like, you're not finding them no matter how much you look. So then you're just like, okay, you realize at some point that your craziness is not working. The tearing of the house is not working. You have already dropped beneath low and looked inside the toilet. You're just like, did they drop in the toilet? I mean, come on. I'm like, what are we doing here? I'm running out of time. What happens? You'll pause, and if you are one of those people that have spare keys in your house, I'm like, good on you. You might grab your spare set and leave and say, I'll deal with this shit later. Or you can pause and you'll say, okay, just pause. I came in the front door. I had my groceries. I had my bags, whatever. I walked in the door. I put my shit down. What's going on here? It's not reverse engineering like a lot of you could like to call it, okay? You're pausing and you just acknowledged that they're there. I know they're here. Because if they weren't here, I would not have been able to get in the door. My car would not be parked out front. I would not be in the house. Somehow, some way, those keys are here. So I walked in the front door, I put my stuff down, and then I walked over here, and then boom, suddenly you realize where they are and they appear. Why? Because you acknowledged, you said, stop the craziness, stop the looking for them. You said, I know they're here. They have to be here. Well, your evidence of knowing they're there was just your decision to say, I know they're here. But did you have evidence that they're there? You could have dropped them out somewhere else. Maybe mom was home and let you in. Maybe someone else let you in. How the hell do you know with complete certainty that they're there? You decided that they were there, no matter what the evidence of someone let you in the front door, or it always is this way, I have to have the keys to get in. You still don't have the evidence. You choose and decide and say, I know they're here. I know they're here. And I will find them. They're here. So you start backtracking your steps to decide, okay, I know they're here. And then that's when they show up. Your knowing is what causes those keys in all the scenarios. It doesn't matter which one. In all the scenarios, your knowing is what causes them to reveal themselves to you. Because the whole time, they were there, but it was your insistence on looking for them, your insistence in tearing up the house, taking matters into your own hands, looking in weird places, doing weird shit just to make them appear. All of that still didn't work. It wasn't until you said, I know they're here. is why they reveal themselves to you. That's how those happen. It's when you stop looking, stop searching, stop manifesting, stop trying. It's all here. So when I made that video of the I don't have it game, because it's already here, creation's finished, I already have it, it's pure potential, it's all here because it's all you, however you want to describe it, it's already here. It's literally you. It's under your nose. It's here. And it's when you stop trying to make it happen is when it's revealed to you, because you are the one revealing it to yourself by no longer saying, I don't have it, it's not here, I don't see it. You're not trying to make it happen. That's why something like a simple decision is possible, because you have decided that you are that person or you have that thing. It's when you continue to say, but it's not here yet, but it's been this long. You are clearly still looking for it. You're trying to manifest. It's the acknowledgement that you already are that thing, that you already have that thing. That is what causes it to reveal, just like the keys. I want you all to use that key analogy for yourself. I don't care what it is, what topic it is. Replace the keys with health. Replace the keys with wealth. Replace the keys with love. Replace the keys with anything that you want. A physical appearance, a full 180 body appearance, all of it. Stop separating that this is different, this is more emotional, this is... All of that is you still looking in the toilet or the dog food for where your shit is. Your shit is right under your nose. It's not in the toilet. Pun intended. So, that story has helped so many of my clients understand the knowing. There's no evidence with the knowing. Anyone that tells you you have to understand why you can know that, let them go down the rabbit holes of overanalyzing, overthinking. I can't even tell you how many engineers that I've worked with, how many clients that are engineers, the amount of analytical, and they call themselves overanalyzing analytical engineers. All the knowing, all the studying, everything they've done, they think if they just put more effort into it, that makes sense, because it makes sense that if I try to understand everything, it makes logical sense as to why I could know it then. This isn't college. This isn't school. It's not the more you study, the more you know. The knowing has nothing to do with logic. The knowing has nothing to do with studying. The knowing is you, is literally who you are. I made a video, I don't know, maybe like a couple months ago, probably now. And it's called Being Yourself is Being God. So many people resonated with that video, and that video alone, I've had many emails tell me, and you can read the comments under it for yourself, about how that video changed your life. Why? Being yourself is being God. Because what people try to do is they try to be something else. They think, if I am the person that has XYZ, then I need to shift my realities and like go through some portal or wormhole or shed skin just so that I can say that I'm now that person. It's literally you. It's being you is being God. The way that you speak, the way that you think, the way that you are, none of it is wrong. You are simply deciding who you are, what identity you desire to be. Because remember, they're all created. You are simply deciding, but this is the knowing that I am all things. I know that everything that I want is here. And if you ask still, how do I know? Nothing can know for you. No one can do that knowing for you on your behalf, Because you are the evidence. You are the knowing. Just like, how do you know those keys were in there? You just decided, you know what? No, I know these keys are here. I know my desire is here. I know that I am everything. And I have to be the only evidence, because if I look for some teacher, book, or coach, or some evidence, or some science to tell me that's why you know, then I'm no longer the knowing. They are. That is. You are the knowing. Being yourself fully is being God, or source, or infinite intelligence, or the power, or the universe, whatever you want to call it. Being yourself is being God. Why? Because your perspective, your point of view is just a mask, or a character, an avatar, or a VR headset. There's so many teachings out there that use different metaphors to describe the same thing. There's only one source, one power from which all things come from, and that is you. That is you. That is every single perspective is that one source. It's like, I told this one client, I said, imagine a kid at Halloween time, and he or she has like 10,000 millions or whatever, let's just say 10,000, has 10,000 different costume masks on him. But the one source is just one kid wearing all of those masks at once. You are the kid, you are the source, and you are all those masks. You are what's behind every single mask. Every person in your reality, including your own mask. You are that one source behind all masks. You are that one authority. So what happens is people get confused, and they're just like, well, if I'm the Catwoman mask and I want to be with Batman, and its source is like, yeah, totally. Why? Because it's the one source, the one authority, knowing itself as all of these masks. So of course it can do. It's like, yeah, I got it. Batman and Catwoman are together now. And then let's say Poison Ivy comes in and says, well, I want to be with Batman. And Source is like, yeah, I got it. Here you go. And then Catwoman's like, wait, if I'm with Batman, how can Poison Ivy be with Batman? Because Source has all these possibilities. You are the source. You can make anything happen. Any combination of any of those masks is possible because they are infinite. But when you think that there's only one Batman for everybody, that's when you're just like, what? That doesn't make any sense. But when you know yourself as infinite, as source, all possibilities, every kind of possibility you can think of, you understand that there's infinite Batmans, and you're choosing the Batman that wants you. You don't want the Batman that doesn't want you. You don't want the Batman that wants Poison Ivy. You want the Batman that wants Catwoman. Do you understand? And it goes in any direction. There's infinite potentials. So you, in your reality, choosing to decide what and who you want to be. That's your only concern. That is your priority. But it's when we put our attention and our awareness on what other people are doing, it's when we get confused. It's when we start asking questions about why, where, how, when, and I promise you, you will find the answers, and you will go down so many rabbit holes looking for answers to the point where you will forget to look at yourself as the answer. You will look to everyone and everything for the answers except for yourself. Hold on. Which I'm going to get to my story here now too. Because we think that our word is not enough. We think that our choice is not enough. I have so many client sessions this week that have been, all my sessions with all my clients have been fucking fantastic. All of them, every single one of them. And I can tell you that every single one of them, by the time that we're done with our time together, they understand that your word is enough. When you say, this is who I am, that is enough. Same way that in the Bible it said, let there be light, and there was. It wasn't, let there be light, but only if my self-concept is perfect. Only if I can see myself as the one that has the light. I have to feel worthy and enough and see myself as the person that holds the sunlight. I must not be worthy because it came out orange. I must not be worthy because now it's black. What the fuck? I didn't ask for a black sun. Something must be wrong with me. Maybe I don't know how to be source. How about I don't understand what it means to be source? How about I ask, I'm source, and I'm going to ask myself how to be source. Well, I know I'll manifest and create people that look like teachers and coaches and friends and family and videos and YouTubes and socials. I'll manifest this stuff so that they all can tell me how to be source. They all can tell me and explain to me what it means to be source, what it means to be the power. I'll create science, I'll create books, I'll create all kinds of things so that they can tell me how I'm source. Don't forget, all of those books and teachers and coaches are you. You are the one putting them there to either critique, to make fun of, to poke at, to gain knowledge from, to ask for help, to mock. You're putting them there, forgetting that they are you. They are you. So while you're looking at it and saying, this teacher's saying this, that teacher's saying this friend is saying this SP is saying that, they're all you. It's all you. Every single bit of it is you. So when you're looking outside of yourself for information, you're looking at yourself for information. But you separate these people, SPs, teachers, coaches, books, your own body. You separate yourself from them, forgetting that it's all you. You're just asking yourself questions. You're engaging with others for information that it's all you. You're getting mad at a screen or a teacher or a YouTube creator. You're looking at and getting mad and arguing with it, and it's you. You're comparing yourself to it. You're sizing yourself up to yourself. It's all you. I was talking to a friend, I'm like, how can anything be authentic knowing that it's all the one? What is authentic? What is that? Because there is nothing authentic. There is nothing because it's all the one. It's all the one experiencing itself. It could have different colors and different shades and different, but guess what? In my reality, it's all me. I'm creating the different shades, different people talking and saying different things. I'm putting it there so that I can stand here and say yap, yap, yap about whatever. I like them, I don't like them, whatever. I'm the one putting them there for me to engage with and have a conversation with. This is a very important point I'm making, because when I realized, and I want you all to, and that's my intention, when you realize that everything and everyone is in fact you, you stop engaging with things, people, discussions, when you realize it's all you. Why? Why would you go to someone else outside of you for approval or validation that what you're saying or imagining or what you want or what you think is right, when you realize it's all you? You'll be tempted to, like, oh yeah, well, they're confirming what I'm thinking. For how long? And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you this why. I've had the Rosey Life channel up for, I don't know, several years now. Okay. And when I first opened it, I was still practicing as a psychotherapist. And so I was doing both. And I was new to reality creation in the way that it's taught through Law of Attraction or Neville Goddard. Those are the new things to me. I'd been aware, self-aware of myself for many years before that. But the Law of Attraction and these books were what were new to me. It was as if I was reading something that I had already known at the same time. I already knew, I was self-aware, and then I was reading something that was new to me. It was both of those things were happening simultaneously. And I'm reading all these books and learning, and like I said, working with coaches, reading books, doing seminars, all of it. I was doing all the things that a lot of you are doing. I did the robotic affirming, I did the sleep tapes, I was doing all of that. And I was really feeling great about what I was learning. I stopped being a psychotherapist because I no longer felt like that resonated with me. I no longer wanted to do the traditional therapy that way. So I decided to start coaching. And through the coaching and through YouTube, I created the channel, TheRoseyLife. And as I was teaching and as I was studying, I was creating videos as I was learning, as I was becoming more aware of who I was. And at first it was Law of Attraction-y with self-concept and loving myself and doing subliminals and doing, and then it moved over to Neville Goddard with Law of Assumption. And then I got kind of irritated with that. And then I moved on to looking at Law of One. I went to study the Kabbalah. I started going to a church where they taught that in LA. I started doing all of these different things. I was really like looking at it from as many perspectives as I could. And the thing is as I was making videos, and this is what's the most personal thing for me to share with you guys. As I was making the videos for several years, I felt like I was not enough. I was not good enough to teach this until that I had manifested everything that most people want. I felt like I wasn't going to be good enough, that I wasn't an authority to speak on this until I had checked off all the boxes of what everybody in the community is coming into. Like, people come to learn about manifesting for different reasons. Some people do it for health, they have health issues or appearance issues or love in relationships, family, friends, death, so many reasons, money, success, careers, education, right? There's people come to this knowing in different ways, in different forms. That's why it doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter how you come into this knowledge. Whatever the desire is, it doesn't matter, because all of it is leading you back to who you are. So there's no ever any judgment on why you want what you want, because why you want whatever it is that you want is just waking you up. It's leading you back to yourself, that you are the source of all things, that you never had to seek for the things that you wanted outside of yourself, because it was always you causing these things in your life, in your experience. So back to what I was saying, I felt like I was never good enough. I still made the videos, I still kept making content, and I was very insecure at points. And then I started getting more confident. I started feeling more confident, and I kept making videos. And then I started coaching, because I worked with a coach who had a program, and she's a very well-known coach, and it wasn't so much about reality creation, it was just more in general of life coaching. And I started studying. I remember this was years ago. I started studying with her. I paid for a program to go through into the coaching, and it was going to be for a year. And I got to about month 3, and everything that I heard, something in me just said, get out. And everything that was being taught, how it was taught, was too programmed. It was too check off list. It was too like, you do this, you do this. It's like, here are the questions that you need to ask your clients. It's like I already went to grad school and I felt like I was in school all over again. It was very like formulated, too strict. And I said, no thanks. And I dropped out of that program. And I said, and I remember that's when I really started to feel like I'm tired of being told what to do and how to do it. I didn't like how I felt and I left it. And then I found other communities like with Neville Goddard and different teachers who from my perspective, these teachers and coaches on Facebook, on YouTube, they to me were the authorities of law of attraction, law of assumption, law of one. They were the authorities. And to me, little old me with my tiny little YouTube channel at that time, I felt like I was not good enough to be teaching this stuff, let alone coaching people. And I looked to them as I made videos. I would think to myself, is this going to be okay? Is this going to be, are they going to see it and critique me and shut me down and say, that's a lie. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. So it got to the point where I was looking at others for permission to make my content. That continued for a while, and then I stopped, and then I realized, I said, you know what? I left some Facebook communities I was in. I left that coaching program. I walked away from a lot of that stuff because I realized I was following those teachers. I was following those coaches. I wasn't actually being me. I was pretending to be me, but I was still under the guise of the mom and dad creators. I was trying to get approval from the mom and dad reality creation creators because they had larger followings, because they said they'd read 1,000 books, because they said that they've done this, they knew who they were since they were born, that they already knew that they'd been manifesting since they were sucking on mommy's boobie, that all of these stories and all these creators saying that they were so this and so that, I was just like, I felt like I didn't have the right to speak about reality creation, that I had the right to do it, but no one was going to listen to me, that I was not enough. So I continued creating content. I started making my own little programs. I remember one I called the Leading Ladies or something like that. I did different little programs. And the funny thing is that every single thing that I've done, every course, every little program, every group thing that I've done, every membership, everything that I've ever done has always been so successful. Every single one of them. They've been so successful. And here's how I measured the success. And I'm talking for years. Now it got better as I made videos and I started saying like, fuck this. And like, I don't need their approval. Like that started happening. The more and more I did it, the more I become aware of myself, the more I stopped caring about what other creators were doing or not doing and saying or not saying. The more that I did that, the more that I was just like, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want to say and how I want to say it. I don't need their permission, right? But going back to what I was saying, any content, any video, any coaching that I did, one-on-one, any group, anything that I did, it was a success. And how did I measure that success? It wasn't by me. It wasn't because I said, of course, because I am successful at what I do. You know how I measured the success? By people's stories, by people's success stories, by people telling me how much that helped them, how they have changed their life, how everything in their life was so amazing, how they were finally able to understand who they are, how they were able to understand, not only understand, but actually manifest the things that they'd been struggling with for years. That's how I measured my success, by what others were telling me, by what they were telling me. And that is when I started looking, I said, wow, I'm doing pretty damn good, but it wasn't good enough. I still had the underlying feeling of not enough, like I'm not good enough still. And I kept making content and I kept making content year after year. I kept going, but with that secret feeling inside of maybe this isn't enough. Someone's gonna come in here and tell me that I'm not good, that what I'm saying is not accurate. And I had people come out and say, Neville didn't say that. That's not true. Neville Goddard didn't say that. That's not how reality is. Of course they did, because that's exactly what I was fearing that would happen. So I kept making the content despite this. And then one day I realized that I was doing that still. I was still doing that. And I said to myself, this is enough. Being myself is being God. What does that mean? That what I hold as my truth, what I choose and decide is my truth, what I decide to say, this is reality, this is my reality creation, this is who I am, that I am the truth, that I am the proof. I don't need mommy and daddy creators that have 1 million followers to approve of how I'm saying it. I don't need the followers or the success stories to tell me that I'm wonderful and that what I've done has changed your life. I don't need that. I don't need anyone. I don't need anything, because I am the proof. I am the success. I am all things. That's why I don't need it to show me that what I'm saying on a video, even right now to you, is the fucking truth, because it's my fucking truth. So the way that I describe reality creation, the way that I talk about manifesting, the way that I talk about being yourself is being God. I'm living it right now in front of you. That all the doubts in the world, going to others, going to coaches, going to other people for approval that I'm doing it right, that my videos are right, that the way that I speak about reality creation is right. I don't need to compare myself to anyone. I don't need someone to say, yay, yay, yes, Rose is telling the truth. I don't need the comments flooding with that. But the paradox is that I have that. My inbox is flooded with emails of success stories. My comment sections are flooded with love and understanding of the simplicity that I bring to the teachings of reality creation. And what really pivoted this for me in a deep way was when I hit me one night and I said, everything that I fucking read, everything that I've known, everything that I've read about psychology, reality creation, manifesting, the Bible, all of these spiritual components, everything every teacher's trying to say, to describe to us, to say, meditate, feel good, vibration, align to it, self-concept, you don't feel like you're worthy enough. That's why you don't have it. This is how you do it. Any and all of it, I realized it hit me like in one moment. Everything and everyone's trying to say, they're trying to say the same thing, and that is you already have it. You already have it. All of it. And it hit me that if we already have it all, because we do, Otherwise, creation wouldn't be finished. We're not creating anything. We're not actually manifesting anything. We're remembering who we are. The desire is remembering that we already are it. It's a reminder that we have it right here, right now. But we look at desire as something that we need to grab and figure out and learn how to get. It's the reminder that I already am all things, that I already have all things. And everything else is saying, I don't have it. You don't have it because of your self-concept. You don't have it because you don't think you're worthy. You don't have it because you're not tall enough. You don't have it because you're not skinny enough. You don't have it because you're not old enough or young enough. You don't have it because of time. You don't have it because it's been so long. You don't have it because you don't understand what source really means. You don't have it because you don't understand the science behind it. You don't have it because you haven't read the whole Bible. You don't have it because you didn't have a dream one night and realize what reality creation is. You don't have it because it didn't come to you through some subliminal and you had a personal experience with Jesus. You don't have it because of the reasons. You don't have it because of your thoughts. You don't have it because of your feelings. You don't have it because of what you're saying. You don't have it. Everything, literally, everything that is not saying that I am it, that I already have it, is just the game of I don't have it. And I said, what if it is that simple? The truth is simple. But the game is to make it complicated. Not for pain, but the game without it feeling like you're struggling and like you worked for it. I gotta go work for it, right? The game is like, what is that game, like Minecraft or Sims, like any computer game, any geek, anybody that nerds out with any game, right? You're watching it and you're just like, even like the new Batman game I've been watching my son and my nephew play, like even that, it's like, what fun is it if you just go to the end and you don't get to play the game at all? It's like, you know how the end of the game is. You can have a really good idea, right? But it's so much fun to go on these missions and earn coins in different belts and like fall, keep falling off a bridge and you're just like, oh, damn it, right? And then you just like go up and do it again. That's the whole game of the I don't have it game. But it's when we get lost in the game and we think the game is reality, not you. I am reality. I am reality playing a game. And now that I know that I am reality playing a game, I can do whatever the hell I want. Nothing phases me. Nothing can bother me. Does that mean you don't react? Of course it does. It's part of the game. Having feelings and emotions, part of the game. Reacting, part of the game. But when you remember that it's a game and that you are reality, that's the be still and know I am God. It's the pause. You're looking, you just kind of step back, pause, and look at what's happening and remember who I am. Wait, all I have to do is decide, what do I want? What do I want to be happening? Well, or if you don't know what you want, you say, well, what do I want to feel? Either one is good. What do I want to feel or what do I want to be happening? Whatever's happening, let it play out, look at it, and decide, well, what is it that I want here? I don't like what's happening, but what do I want? That's all we're doing. Stepping back, looking at what's happening, and asking yourself a simple question. What do I want? And you can look at what's playing out and you say, actually, no, that's not what I decided. I don't know how many clients have already come to me with success stories simply by just saying that. No, that's not what I decided. No, actually, no. And you feel your feelings anyway. You think the thoughts anyway. You're just like, no. I'm not denying them. I'm saying, no, that's not my choice. You can let your thoughts go haywire. You can feel anything you want. You're just making a decision. You're saying no. So when I made that video, I said, yes, the truth is actually simple. It's your choice. You can play the game however you want to. There's lots of creators and teachers out there to help you play the game in all these different ways. And none of them are wrong and none of them are right, because it's you deciding how you want to play your game. No one can tell you how. That's your choice. You're the one standing in front of the barista making the decision on what you're going to order. But it's the recognition that I already have it all, because without that, everything's already mine. I already have it all. How do I know that? Because I know it. It's my decision. I know it, because knowing doesn't have any proof. Because if it had proof, then you would no longer be the knowing. You would no longer be the source. You are the source. You are the knowing. That is who you are. So ever since I made that video, I decided, I said, you know what? I don't need any coach. I don't need any person to tell me that I'm doing it right, that I'm talking right, this is my truth. The truth is simple. I am the truth. You don't need someone to validate you. You don't need someone to approve of you. You are enough. I am enough. I am good enough. And that is what I had to realize even as I made these videos with the Rosey Life. I don't need anyone outside of me to approve of how I make it. I stay in my lane. I stay in my reality, and I decide in my reality, this is how it goes. I'm not in other people's realities. I'm not in other teachers or clients or people's realities. Everything and everyone is in my reality. But until you see that for your own reality, everything and everyone is in your reality. They're reflecting and showing up the way that you want them to. Remember the kid with the mask. If you're too busy wondering what the other mask is doing, now you just brought something into your own reality that you don't want, instead of making the decision about what you want in yours. Everything else is none of your damn business. But you make it your business and then you whine and cry about it. What do you want? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you going to let define you? Why would you continue to let people tell you who you are and how to be source? Being yourself is being source. Being yourself is being God. And that changes moment to moment, so be it. If one moment you're crying, that's source. If another moment you're happy, that's source. You can't mess it up. You can't make any mistakes. You can't get it wrong. FOMO is fake. There's no such thing. You can't get stuck. Only you can create the experience of being stuck. So, yes, I'm just looking at my notes. It felt, oh yeah, I wanted to say this too. It's like making the decision to continue to create content and continue coaching the way that I want to, without anyone backing me up. I don't have other coach friends that I consult. I know of coaches, but I don't have like, oh yeah, we're coach buddies. I don't have that. I don't have someone that I go to for advice. I used to go to people for advice. I used to go to coaches for tips. I used to go to other creators and watch videos and be like, oh wow. Because that's when I thought I wasn't enough. When I didn't think that what I said was enough. And when I saw that, I dropped it so fast. And I said, I'm enough. What I say is enough. I am the truth. I don't need anyone to go. Who the fuck am I going to go to when I'm the one and only source of my reality? Who or what am I going to go to? Even if I did go to somebody, I'm creating a person to be my authority over me. Who the hell am I going to go to? I am the source of my reality. Why would I go to someone else to tell me who the fuck I am? This is what I realized much deeper. That's where that video of the I don't have it game came from. Because the truth is simple. I already have it because I already am all things. Knowing is an acceptance, a choice. It's not a feeling. You don't have to feel a shit fucking thing for that. There's no thoughts. You don't have to go around reminding yourself all day long unless you believe you have to. You can if you want to, and even if you do, it's not wrong. I can't tell you what's right. Can't tell you what's wrong. I can only point you to the truth that you are unlimited, that there's no rules, and that you are the source of your own reality, and that you are not just enough. You are everything. Everything. That's what I wanted to share with you today. And I know, I know this is going to help so many people. And you know what's beautiful is this story of one of my clients that I was on the phone with for a while today. I got chills talking to her, and she's going to send me her story this next week. But I got chills talking to her because she told me, because I'm doing some different things right now with TheRoseyLife, and I ran one by her because of what she does professionally. And we were on the phone for like, I don't know, almost 3 hours. And she said to me, she said, I want you to know something. Listen to this. And it gave me chills, and it almost made me cry when I heard it. She said, I want you to know something. She said, I have been following your YouTube channel since you had like 4,000 subscribers. And she says, and every time I look at you, you have changed tremendously. You have grown. Your awareness has expanded so much. And she said, it's faster than I could keep up with. And she said, I've only done 3 sessions with you. And this is over the course of like, I think she said a year or 2 years. And she said, and I've watched your content. And that alone, she said, has changed my life in more ways than you even know. She says, what you give for free and what you do in your sessions, she said, it doesn't have a price tag on it. She said, it doesn't have a price. It does not have a value on it for what you're doing to change people's lives. And I got quiet when she said that, because I then realized that, one, I don't need to hear that anymore. But it made me rethink things and how I do content. It made me realize that I'm about to just continue dialing up who I am and showing up as my truth the way that I want to, unapologetically, not needing anyone's permission or approval for any of it. That's what it helped me see again. And of course, hearing her amazing story, which I'll share with you. And I was just like, yeah, that's because that's how fucking good I am. I'm the fucking best. That's how goddamn good I am. I heard that story so differently today. And I know who I am. And I know that I am damn good at what I do. So, where are you? Who are you? Will you continue to ask how and why? Or will you stop and make a decision? This is who I am, knowing that I am already all things. Or will you continue to say, where is it? But I've done this, but I've done that. feeding into your own anxiety, feeding into your own feelings and fears. You believe your feelings and your fears and your thoughts over your own word, thinking that your word is just not enough. Your word is enough. Your no is a command. Your yes is a command. And that is enough. My word is enough. My thoughts and my feelings, you can choose to believe them, and you can go on journeys on figuring out how to shut them hell up. Or you can look at them and say, you're all options. My word was enough. I said what I said. And if I see something that I like, no, actually no. If I think something I don't like, no, actually no. Yes, this is what I said. I said what I said. That's coming from authority of knowing that I already have it. It's not coming from I'm begging the universe to give me money because I'm in need. I'm begging this person to want me. I'm begging for somebody to help me figure this out. Your word is enough because it is source. It's the only and final authority. I am the beginning and the end, and that is you. See yourself as the only truth, and don't allow anyone to tell you what you have to do, what you should do, what you can do. Focus on you and only you. Make yourself the authority of your reality and watch your life become magic. All right, you guys, I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.